Good day, everyone. Welcome to our exclusive webinar. We're just having a few people logging in now. We'll get started in about 10 or 15 seconds, give everyone a chance to log in and get settled. All right, good day, everyone. Welcome to the Voxco exclusive webinar, AI in Market Research, Practical Applications, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sean Saring. I'm the Director of Business Development at Voxco, and I'll be the host for today's webinar. I want to welcome those of you who have shown interest in either or Voxco and Ascribe listening in today. We appreciate your participation. For today's webinar, we'll be exploring and reviewing how Ascribe's open-ended coding with the AI and Voxco's new AI probing can help with your data collection in a practical and efficient efficient manner. Should be a great webinar. Let me introduce you now to my colleagues and two true gurus of our softwares for this webinar, the best of the best. We have Jason McGrath, Senior Solution Specialist for Voxco, as well as Lev Katznelson, Trainer for Ascribe. We'll get started, but beforehand, just to do a little bit of housekeeping notes. Today's webinar will last about 45 minutes or so, concluding with a brief question period. And just so you know, you can ask your questions at any time using the chat in your control panel. And you can access the control panel by clicking on the orange arrow. And as well, so you know, we will be recording this webinar, and a recording of it will be made available to you in the next coming days. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so just a little history lesson before we begin for those of you who are not aware. I've been with Voxco for about 17 years now. Really happy to have the opportunity here to speak with you all regarding applying practical applications to your data collection. Voxco has been around and in business since 1976. We're headquartered in Montreal, Canada. We have additional offices and support staff throughout the world, the US, Germany, France, and Australia. And most importantly, we're really excited about the addition of Ascribe to the Voxco family. We're able now to combine strengths of powerful survey software tools to collect, analyze, and act on data, and integrated now with Ascribe's industry-leading open-ended coding and text analytics tool, all powered by AI, NLP, and machine learning. And of course, with Voxco's robust survey platform, you can really gain deeper insights for open-ended responses and customer sentiment, giving you access to a full suite of data collection tools, analytics, sample marketplaces, and so much more. So this, of course, will really help your organization make faster, smarter, and definitely more strategic decisions. A little bit of background, Jason, next slide, just to let you know how the Voxco suite of products work. We have a full gamut of market research tools. We started off with a caddy and dialer solution, all our own solutions, no third-party integration there. With the need for data collecting growing, the advent, of course, of the internet and big data and all of this fun stuff, Voxco's really put together a full suite of data collection tools with the caddy, the dialer as well. There's an IVR solution, online, mobile, offline, which is like an interviewer offline tool with no internet connection. We have a panel solution, as well as the ability to provide panel portals for your panelists and analytics. And of course, as I mentioned, Voxco Audience, which is really a sample marketplace. And most importantly, our integration now with Ascribe to fully close off the quantitative side and even the qualitative side of market research and collecting your data and having everything all in one. Voxco allows you to have a hosted solution on our own cloud, or we can certainly install on your own premises, which kind of makes us a little bit different than some of the other vendors out there. And too many researchers right now are stuck in a race for relevance. Working across against the clock, trying to keep pace with your client expectations, adapting to market changes, delivering insights before they're out of date, and the pressure is really on to answer complex questions faster than ever, or really risk falling behind. So to get ahead, we at Voxco really want to help you answer anything, and that means we help you level up with a powerful all-in-one platform. Putting unstructured data into structured data via Ascribe. You can speed up with AI integrations, time-saving features that allow you to deliver your statistics and insights sooner. And thirdly, teaming up with experts in the industry. We've got 50 years of experience in this, coupled with the Scribe side and that brilliant team of over 25 years of experience putting together an awesome tool that really can get your data where you need it to be. So from there, we're gonna talk a little bit about some of our solutions. But before that, just again a reminder: if you have any questions, feel free throw them in the chat in the control panel. Voxco has about 500 clients worldwide in 40 countries that run the gamut from market researchers using our software for ad hoc surveys, corporations using our solutions, small, medium, large market research firms, governments, universities. So it really is a software that can be used for all to answer anything. All right, so at this time, before we show you a little bit of the AI and the practical uses of AI within the tool, I'm going to bring in my colleagues Lev and Jason. We're going to talk a little bit about the state of the industry, and really, guys, to discuss. And again, thank you so much for taking the time for our webinar. Pleasure to have you guys here with us. We're gonna discuss one of these stats that you're seeing right now. About 29% of market researchers are seeing productivity gains from using generative AI, meaning that there's still a lot more room to grow. So, guys, what's your thoughts on this? Maybe I'll start off with you, Lev, and give us your thoughts on this statistic.
Coming from a coding background, this doesn't really surprise me. People who are rooted in data tend to kind of trust their own eyes a little bit more than AI, for instance. But we are giving these same people tools to, while overseeing the results, saving a substantial amount of time with having the generative AI read the responses, provide quick themes, quick takeaways that they can then use as needed.
And on the data collection side, similarly, there's new capabilities now that exist with online that used to exist with Caddy. For example, interviewers were always able to probe open-ended responses, get additional information. When you're dealing with an online survey, there's no intermediary. By having this AI probing capability now, the AI can detect the answer versus the question and make sure that there's a detailed response. And if there isn't, it can probe in an intelligent way to try to get more information. So it's allowing us not only to do things better, but it's allowing us to do things that we were never able to do before.
Absolutely. And I think the interesting stat here in the center there, 62% of market research teams are actively using AI, which is it's a big number and growing year on year out. And I think that what's really key is really having the idea of adding AI and the right tools for you to get what you need done correctly and efficiently as possible. So what we did at Voxco. Jason, on to the next slide. And for the purposes of this this webinar, we really have put together a survey for our employees to help with this webinar and show you how the probing tool works within Voxco, and then how that analysis can happen through the Ascribe tool. So the Voxco employees actually were sent out a great survey that Jason's going to run through, and it was on groceries to assist us really to explore how the open-ended coding and the AI probing can really help get your data collection together in a practical and efficient manner. Man, that's the second time I said manager instead of manner.
You're consistent.
I'm consistent. All right, so without further ado, then I will hand it right over to you, Jason.
Super. Thank you very much, Sean. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the actual survey itself. So as a respondent, give you an opportunity to see the tool in action for those of you who have not seen Voxco online before. This is the actual survey that respondents, the employees filled out. We have it set up in multilingual. The Canadian team is a combination of English and French. And that was another component of AI that we used. The tool is able to do automatic translation using AI. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to quickly go through the questions, ensuring that I'm able to get through this. And then what I'll do is I'll go in and we'll have a look at the survey itself and see how it actually was done, how this was set up. So I'll go ahead, keep going until we get to an open-end question. The AI probing works for, just so you know, it's not just open-ended questions, any text question, open-end question, or even other specify. But for this one, I'm just going to wait till I get to an open-end. Showing some of the question types here. Right now we're looking at a carousel. Everything you saw up to this point was pretty straightforward. You can use images, video, text here. And we'll come up to the end. Drag and drop question. I could use images in addition to text if I wanted to there. Okay, so let's say I go ahead and we're going to get our first open end. So tell us about a time when you went for getting a grocery item and messed up your plans. I forgot something. Go ahead and hit next. So you'll notice there's a prompt just below this. It's saying your responses may trigger a follow-up question. This is completely configurable. And then based on the answer I gave and the question that was asked, it will prompt me something that gives me a little more information. So a more detailed, more rich, deeper, cleaner insights that we're able to gain from this. So it looks like really affected my plans. Can I share a little bit more on how it impacted my day? I forgot the food we needed for the barbecue. And just to order pizza. Pretty well ruined that. Again, being able to use images within my selection. I've got one other open end here. What is the weirdest, most frustrating thing I ever got into the store? Not sure. Go ahead and I hit next. And you're going to see how this is set up in a second. In this case, it's actually taking a response that is really a no use at all, and giving some insights, right? So this can be challenging to understand. Is there a type of category, even if it hasn't happened to it in a particularly memorable way? Yes, I forgot my bread before. I'll go ahead and finish this. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and we'll have a look at how this is set up in the survey tool. Again, for those of you who have not seen Voxco, the survey solution before, just a really quick overview. The tool allows you from A to Z, full questionnaire setup and design, branding capabilities. What we were just looking at there was the ability to be able to test through and run through a survey to make sure that it works the way that you need it to. We have automated simulations where it can do completes for you. Questionnaire design is very intuitive. It's a drag and drop interface. And you'll see this is the questionnaire we just went through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the probing question, and we'll see how this is set up. So basically, with any open-end, other, or text question, I can go in and there's an AI probing option. And the first thing I do is I give the question context so that the AI is able to give meaningful, relevant information based on the fact it knows what the question was. And then there's some guidance. That message I mentioned that was below the open end is here. I can customize and configure that. And then we've got two other options. I can either have it lead or not lead the respondent. So I can set that to yes or no. Leading is providing a little more guidance, whereas if it's not enabled, it will be less so, more or less just anything additional, etc. Whereas with leading, I'm providing based on their answer and the question, helping them, as you saw, flesh out their response. And then we have something that's called an unengaged respondent. This could be somebody who's just rushing through the questionnaire, just hitting random characters, going through the open ends, other specifies. Do I want to probe or not unengaged respondents, so that I'm able to decide how that would work. So this is easily set up. I can save this. We've got libraries that allow me to be able to save my questions, my questionnaires, the look and feel, everything in there. Before I hand it over to Lev, just a couple of other things. I did mention translation. This is another AI component of the Voxco online solution, where I can have auto translation done based on whichever languages that I've selected with the questionnaire. Auto translate will use AI to do the translation for me into the associated language. We always recommend you still review the translations when they're done, but it's there and available. Distributions, the tool allows you to import in external sample. You can link to third-party panel providers. As Sean mentioned, there's a sample marketplace built right into Voxco where you can have your own marketplace. And if you are using your own sample, including a panel that allows you to either manage a database of contacts for you or your clients, and you need to send out invitations, there's 5 different ways. Social media, so X and Facebook, email, SMS. SMS also piggybacks on WhatsApp. Sometimes people use, and then being able to send out via SMS and emails, the 2 most primary. Extracting the data in many different formats. What I am going to do though is I'm going to head over to the coder, and then I'll pass it over to Lev. This is the integration with Ascribe, and if I had gone in here the very first time, it's going to actually create the project for me in Ascribe, and it allows me to select which questions I want to bring over. And these can be my open-ended responses, close-ended for doing a more detailed analysis. And then once I save that, it will synchronize all of the responses that have been given already. So if I'm just launching it and there are none, it's set up and ready to go. It'll start synchronizing. Once additional data is collected, it continues to synchronize and move forward. So I'm going to stop there, and
Super,
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Jason. Just before we throw it over to Lev, great presentation, Jason. I really like the AI probing that really will help our clients who are using the Voxco tool dig deep and get those responses that they need, as opposed to just a random, well, I didn't get a chance to go to the grocery store and that was it. Like, it gets more detailed information. And once Lev shows you how all of this data is going to be run through Ascribe, you'll be able to see that output as well. But before we do that, I wanted to talk just very quickly about ChatGPT and how is it a good tool to be used for your coding? Is it a great way to analyze your open ends? And for this, I'd like to again bring in Lev and Jason. Please feel free to jump in as well. Our gurus. Let's chew on this topic for just a second before you dive into the tool. And after this one, I have one more question, and then we'll get right into the Ascribe side of it. Lev, what's your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll be honest. We get this question a lot. We show somebody the tool, and the question is, well, why shouldn't I just throw my responses into ChatGPT? That's free. The first thing that I always say is security. When you are throwing your answers or your data into ChatGPT or Claude, Gemini, wherever it may be, you're not exactly 100% sure where that data is going and ended up. I mean, sure enough, they might say that they don't use all data for training, but for peace of mind, when you use Ascribe and Ascribe's generative AI, your data never leaves the servers. It is self-contained. The second thing is hallucinations. We've all asked the same question multiple times and of ChatGPT and probably have gotten completely different answers every single time. And one of the answers will probably not have anything to do with what you asked. Within the Voxco Ascribe ecosystem, we have put guardrails on our generative AI. So it really cannot look outside of your actual data to give you an answer. So the hallucination is that one minimum.
And just to add a couple of things to that, just quickly. Another thing that I really like to highlight is that Ascribe was built by market researchers for market researchers. So it's not a generic tool. It's one that's specifically targeted to the industry. And it also allows for that human oversight, which is really important, so that you're not just relying on a tool to like ChatGPT to go on its own and not have the ability to have your hands on it and provide that human guidance.
Yeah, that's both very good points. Lev, maybe you can just help me understand a little bit on the scalability and efficiency by using AI within Ascribe as opposed to like a ChatGPT.
Sure, absolutely. So to give you an idea, let's say we're talking about a data set that has about 1,600, or let's keep it simple, 1,000 open-ended responses. If I were doing this manually and coding this manually, this is a day worth of work, right? That's like 6 to 7 hours of me reading these responses, creating a topic list, making sure everything's captured. I can throw this.
Of days for me, for sure.
That's fair. I can throw this into ChatGPT and ask it very quickly, hey, go ahead and code this for me. And sure enough, it's going to give you some semblance of a code frame or its version of whatever it feels like giving you that day. The issue here becomes you don't really have a way to then structure this in any meaningful format, right? If your end client is then asking you for exact counts, well, how do you get ChatGPT to give you exact counts, and how do you know those are accurate?
Right.
Whereas within Ascribe, we hit analyze and we get a code frame, we get our counts, and it is not a black box. If we need to get down to how each response is handled and where each count is coming from, all of that is available to the user.
Sweet, very, very helpful. Well, that brings up then, I guess, the next question, just before we jump into showing the results of the famous Voxco's employee survey, and that's why coders and market research shouldn't fear AI. Jason, maybe you want to just give us a little thought process on this and why we shouldn't really be overly worried about it. It would be the next slide, Jason.
Oh, certainly. Okay. Oh, yes, indeed it is. Oh, wrong way.
Awesome.
There we go. just like you saying the wrong word, I go the wrong direction consistently.
All good.
Yeah, great question. Again, this ties into exactly what I had mentioned. The human oversight is important to be able to provide guidance. The tool simply, and by the tool I mean ChatGPT or other generative AI, is not in a position to be able to just take it and run with it for all the reasons that Lev just mentioned. You want to be able to have, and I'm still not on the right one, am I? Here we go, Sean. There we are. There.
There we go. We got it.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
No worries. No. It's my own fault. So again, the tool isn't there. It does absolutely need the oversight. And as Len mentioned, the ability to be able to drill into the data, even down to the case IDs and the respondent IDs of the data itself, is quite important and key. And it does really take that end human results to ensure, do I want to combine categories? Do I want to be able to roll some of these comments back and code them slightly differently because of the way that it was set up? I'm able to do it, whereas the AI tool on its own would not be able to do it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Lev, anything to add at this point?
The main thing is, again, I hate to bring this up a second time, but I am a long-time coder and definitely have expectations for how I want AI to act, which is why when we built AI Coder, we built it with the coder and the human behind in mind. The AI is there simply to make all of this more efficient, simply to just make you not have to read 1,000 open-end responses and just going to review the results at your leisure or at the percentage that you want to review.
Perfect. Awesome.
Great.
All right, guys. Well, without further ado, then, Jason, let's move ahead a couple of slides here.
Yep.
And
Perfect.
we'll hand it over to Lev to kind of dive in on the results from the Voxco survey and really just see how AI can help and make things practical and efficient. Lev, over to you.
All right, thank you. Let's see, can you guys see my screen or not yet?
Yes, sir.
See here. All right, now I have multiple screens set up, so please tell me if you see the correct screen.
We should see this correct screen. We're seeing the actual coding tool itself, so that I believe that's what you're trying to show.
Excellent. It's always a roulette every day for me. So
yeah, me too.
All right, so very first thing, these are the responses that automatically came from Voxco into Ascribe, populated into the correct questions. What we've done here is we've actually linked the open ends together along with the probed answers. We didn't have to do this, but we kind of like the way that flowed once we ran the analysis. So it's easier for us to look at all of it at once. As we're looking at the responses here, we can actually see which ones are the probing answers. We can look at these kind of one respondent at a time if we were interested. But today, we're just gonna go right into AI Coder and kind of see what we did with the responses. Before we look at the results, I'm gonna take a quick step back and at a very high level, touch on how we got here. When we jump into AI Coder for anything that we haven't yet analyzed, we go through 3 steps. Step 1 is letting AI Coder read our responses and then figuring out how to handle them or what to do with them. And by that, I mean, it extracts ideas. It kind of acts like a junior coder reading your data. We can absolutely give it an additional piece of information about our data if we want. If we think that the responses are going to be very difficult to understand or they're speaking about something that's industry specific, we can plug this information in. We can put in industry specific terms. We can give it the question text and any information that we think would be useful. Once it's done this, it's going to look at all these ideas that it's pulled out. And by design, each idea is kind of self-contextualized, so it's easy to then group with other similar ideas. It's going to take all of these ideas, or what we call segments, and move on to step 2. That's where it's going to create a code book. Now, again, we've taught it based on our 20+ years of coding experience, how to build a market research code book. So it already knows how to do this right out the box. You don't even have to do anything else. You can just hit analyze and let it do its thing. But if you want to get more involved, you can, for instance, point it at a contextual closeset. So if you're analyzing something like a question that's asking, well, why did you give the rating that you did? You can actually point the tool at that rating question. So now as it's reading the responses and trying to understand them, it actually has even more understanding, right? If the response is simply, well, just the price, without a rating, you don't really understand, is that a positive mention of price? Is it a negative? But if you can see the rating of a 2, and we've told it anything between 0 and 7 is negative, it knows this is a negative mention of price. Beyond that, if we really want to get granular here, we can bring up the builder prompt and tell it exactly how we want our code book designed. Hey, we are analyzing what is memorable about this ice cream shop or this ice cream release. Go ahead and create an individual code for each ice cream mentioned or each flavor mentioned. If you want your code book to be split by sentiment, just you can type right in, I want each code to have a positive and a negative version of itself. None of these things are required. You can do these at will. You can run the analysis, take a look at the results, and then decide, I want to make some changes. I want to iterate. You click a button, you come back in here, and you have it do it again. And you can do this as many times as you'd like. Real talk, once or twice is usually where I end up when I'm running any data set. I might run it a second time. Third time, if I'm purely morbidly curious about what it would do if I gave it a certain piece of information. All right, once it's done running, we're gonna see the results. So the results are pretty straightforward. It's a code frame or code list of themes, however you wanna call it. It's gonna tell us the percentage of our responses that it's applied a code to, or multiple codes. It's gonna tell us how many codes, how many nets it's created. Now, depending on what we are in here for, our workflow kind of changes in one of three ways. If what we wanted to do was to take our data and simply be able to ask questions of it, then we're mostly done. We don't really even care about the code book anymore. We hit the ask button, and this is where we bring in our own version of a generative AI chatbot. This is our ability to ask any question of our data set and get a simple language answer. Now within here, we can leverage our closed ends. So I can say, if I have a regional closed end, I want whatever answer you're giving me by region within my data. And in fact, not just by region, but after you give me this answer, I want you to compare and contrast the findings across regions, across quarters, whatever makes sense for whatever it is that you're looking for. There's no limit to the amount of questions you can ask. And as I mentioned at the beginning of all this, the responses here that it's giving us, that it's writing, need to be tied back to actual comments within our data. If I'm ever unsure, if I'm looking at a piece of information that it's giving me and I decide that can't possibly have been in my data, I will highlight it. I will click on the drill down on selection button. I'm not going to do it today just because it will take a couple of minutes, and it's going to give me the list of actual comments it used from my responses to generate that specific piece of my report. Now, this is great for any type of open-end analysis, but it's especially amazing when we're dealing with IDIs, long-form interviews, self-records, anything along those lines, because it takes all of that kind of text blob, right, all of that unstructured data, and makes it infinitely more usable because you can kind of dive right in and ask very pointed questions. So that's use case number one. Use case number two, we're not going to cover end to end because that's where I deliver a final structured coded file to my end client. That's where I will work with my code frame. I will dig into my codes, and we can do that by simply clicking on our code, and on the left we'll see all of the ideas that have been pulled from our responses, grouped together, and then used to create this code. If I want to rename anything, this is my chance to rename it, delete it, or if I think that this code is too general, I will simply click a button and ask the AI tool to break it into more detailed, more concise ideas for me. My workflow in here is mostly supervisory at this point, right? Even if I am a coder and I hand code, usually I come in here, I let AI coder do the coding, and my job is to come through and validate the result, to validate the code frame, format it the way I want it to be formatted, check the results. I might find one or two things that I want somewhere else. I will simply just grab them and drag them into another code where I think they belong better. It's really simple, no hidden menus. It's left click and drag and drop to get what you want done. We also keep track of every piece of every response that we do not apply a code to. Meaning, obviously, we have 94% coded, so 6% of the responses have received no coding at all. Those are easy to find. But also within the 94%, there are going to be some comments that have multiple ideas, right? Let's say a response had 5 ideas in it, and we applied codes to 4 of those ideas. We don't just throw away that 5th idea. We don't say, trust us. We captured what matters. We keep track of everything that is not coded, and you can find it down here in the uncoded segments section or bucket, however you want to look at it. So you can simply drill in here, and it'll show you all of the pieces that a code has not been applied to. This is kind of like your final quality check as a coder, as a supervisor. Once you're done with this, you can go ahead and now leverage Voxco Ascribe to deliver the coding of this data in practically any format that you want. If you want to push this into SPSS, you can pull a save file. If you want to push this into Power BI, you can go ahead and pull an Excel file that comes in about 40 different flavors, CSV, tab delimited text files, up to you. Now, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to deliver a nice looking presentation. So I'm gonna hop over to the visualize screen now, and this is a dashboarding solution. If you've seen one dashboarding solution, you pretty much have seen all of them. The only difference is in what they name their charts. We do have pre-built charts that you can pull up, but it's always a lot more fun to hit the chart options and decide exactly what it is that you want to see. Again, bar charts, tree charts, or block charts, depending on how you want to call them, grids, everyone's absolute favorite, word clouds is available here as well. And my personal favorite would be the cross tabs, right? This for those of us who like looking at data, this is going to make your data infinitely more digestible. You can click on any visualization here, and it's going to bring up all of the different options that are available for that specific visual. So decide how much of your code list or your themes you want to display. What is it that you want to look at? Counts, percents are pretty straightforward. Is sentiment important? Go ahead and turn sentiment on, and we'll show you the sentiment behind all of your ideas. Speaking of sentiment, we actually assign sentiment at the idea level and not the comment level. So if the comment has 3 positives and 1 negative, we make sure we capture each one of those individually. And for those of us who really like math, we can turn on t-test and percentage differences. Once you make all these selections, or if you want to turn on every single thing in here, you can. It's going to update our visualization and then let you kind of play with it a little bit. All of these are interactable. So meaning if I'm reading through this and I want to see, all right, well, what is actually an improvised with available ingredients? I will simply click on this, and it's going to show me the responses that are captured in that finding, in that code, and it's actually going to highlight the piece of the response that matters for that specific finding. If I then want to see, well, how are these 12 comments actually falling out throughout the rest of my closed ends, click the close ends tab, and you have that information as well, also easily downloadable. Speaking of downloading, every single one of these charts you can download as a PNG or as an Excel data file. But the best way to do it is probably to generate some links. Click the links button, generate links, and you can send these to anyone you want. Internal team, external client. They follow the link. They don't need a Voxco Ascribe account. They simply follow the link to the dashboard you built here, and they get to interact with it the same way we get to interact with it. Again, this is at Mach 10 speed. This is what we do with generative AI on the analysis end of it. Before I get kicked off of sharing my screen, I will say one more thing. You can leverage Ask to dig into a specific finding. So for instance, if I'm looking through here and I say, all right, well, I can clearly see that people that use sticky notes as a way to write out a grocery list are a lot more likely to forget to pick up an essential ingredient. Why? I'm going to go ahead and click on that finding, and now any question that I ask of the Ask tool will be of those specific comments. All right, well, that is all that I kind of wanted to show you guys. So Sean.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lev. Excellent job as always. Very informative. Again, I just wanted to mention there's a couple of questions that we're going to get to. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat now. And we're going to take the last couple of minutes here and just answer a few questions that have come in, and then we'll conclude the webinar. So let's just dive right into it, and I'll pass it along here. First question here is, this is for the, I guess, the Voxco probing question, Jason. Can you have it probe twice? I mean, I realize you don't want to frustrate the respondent, but maybe the AI can know that it's trying to capture X and Y, and if they haven't answered those 2 elements, would it be able to probe again?
Great question. And the short answer is yes, it would be able to. However, what we're doing is we're starting slow with it. On the first release, what we've done is we've done a single probe. We're gaining feedback from our customers on what can be improved on it. One of the very first things that we had all understood that would probably make the most sense is exactly the question that was asked. But we want to put it to the test first. So for right now, it's a single probe, but we will be adding additional based on the feedback that we get from our clients.
Super. Thank you, Jason. Second question is, can Ascribe help analyze IDIs, in-depth interviews, transcripts, or better yet, videos? Can it pull video clips? Lev.
Wish I could say yes for the video clip. That is something that is in active development, but it can absolutely help you analyze IDIs, long form interviews. We are just about to release a tool that will take your audio clips and transcribe them into text. Next step will be to automatically pull those into Ascribe and then let you analyze them. And then, of course, video clips are down the line.
Perfect. That's great. Another question that has come up is regarding languages, and I guess this is applicable to both software pieces. Is the tool language agnostic? Can you do analysis or survey collecting in multiple languages? I guess, Lev, we'll start with you, and then Jason will go over to you for the Voxco side.
Sure, absolutely. Because we're using generative AI for our AI tool, it is 100% language agnostic, at least as far as like the 250 plus languages that we have tested. You can load a data set that has 5, 20, 30, 40 different languages in it. It's going to read each response in its native form, understand it, and then give you the results in whatever language you've chosen from those 253 languages.
Excellent. And on the survey side, as I mentioned, the tool does support multilingual, but it's also important to note how it would feed Ascribe. So in a very similar manner to what Lev just mentioned, not only will it probe, but it'll probe in the language of the respondent. So if you had 5, 10, 20, 30 different languages, the AI itself would ask the follow-up question in that native language, and then as the respondent provides it in the language, it's brought over to Ascribe, and then, as Lev mentioned, can be coded there because it's agnostic. So languages are well taken care of. Super.
And I'll add, I guess, that the interface on the Voxco side is available in English and French as well. Another question, and I will say this is probably again for both, which is great. Can respondents input long-form text answers in Voxco, and then how well does that transfer into Ascribe?
I'll start on this one, Sean.
Sure.
So yeah, with the masking capabilities of the configuration of each question type, you are able to set limits if you would like. For example, it has to be at least 100 characters, no more than 1,000 characters, if that's something you wanted to set up. Or if there's no limit set on it, it can be a free text book if they wanted to be able to type it, and then that information would go over as the data set into Ascribe. So Lev, you take it from there.
Yeah, we definitely do not enforce any kind of limit on the length of a response. So a response can be somebody saying good, or a response can be, as Jason kind of mentioned, a short form novel. So yeah, there are absolutely no limits.
Super. One more question, and then we will call it here. Are there APIs that allow for direct data transfers or other APIs usages for Voxco and or Ascribe?
On the survey side, yes, there is a full set of APIs that you can use more or less that reflect the UI or the user interface itself. So pretty much anything that you can do via the interface, the tool itself, can be done via API, automated, etc., including data extraction, transfer, importation, etc.
Yeah, and very much on the same on the Ascribe side. Fully built out API. It'll let you push data from wherever you want to push data from, kick off an analysis, and then pull results.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Well, folks, I hope that we have provided you some good information here about AI and market research and the practical applications that are involved with it. We thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. If you're interested in learning more about Voxco or Ascribe or both, please feel free to reach out to us via voxco.com. There's the QR code here on this slide. And of course, by giving us a call via the websites, we'll be more than happy to set up a personal demo or answer any further questions that come up. So again, we thank you. Just a reminder, we will provide a recording of the webinar in the coming days. So this concludes our exclusive webinar, AI and Market Research, Practical Applications. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day, and please be safe. Take care.